is the head there of the Opus Dei and been involved in the business that the Opus Dei did in the port of Genova. Also, recently, as recently as last June, this came up in an investigation of the police in Italy. But they have scrubbed off my name out of the phone interception, but I have photos with all those people that I can show you, and my involvement.
Okay, but
also here, watch here. This is another invitation. Now this was supposed to be the meetings of meetings. This meeting here was supposed to be held in September in the monastery of Santa Scholastica, very important monastery. You can find this monastery on the first scene of Omen Free.
Okay.
The film Omen Free, you can find it, this monastery. This monastery was the last place where Ratzinger talked before becoming Pope. In this monastery we were supposed to meet with my wife also there, representing her Islamic organization, and with Gabriele Mandelkhan, who is a Sufi Gerai Helveti, and with basically with these people. We were also, with the Dr. Aldo Rapicavoli, which is a high-level Freemason, celebrate the Giordano Bruno, which we mentioned before, death, there, it's written there.
Okay, but you're still telling me that you got away. You're telling me that...
This one in September never happened. It was cancelled because in June, walked out of the organization.
I understand, but you said you've been arrested. We know
Yes.
that you've been harassed,
Yes.
right? And I'm just asking
What happened, for example,
how do you get away from the Illuminati?
Okay, what happened was I needed to get away saving my life. So the only way to get away saving my life was to eventually reveal and keep safely with me this information and reveal it to the appropriate sources so I could defend myself.
Who are the appropriate sources?
People like you, people that came forward.
The general public.
What happened was this. In October, September of 2006, after my kid was born and I recovered from the arrest, which was pretty mind-breaking, and I managed to get out. Why? Because I managed to prove to the authorities here in Norway that what I was saying was true regarding my involvement with certain groups, that they were deliberately trying to attack me, and that there was even a guy, a doctor, involved, a guy called Nikolai de Matos Fritzvold, who is the head of a mental hospital here in Norway, that in reality was related to a General Fritzvold, and also himself a master of the Memphis and Mizraim. I have on my diploma of the Memphis and Mizraim, I have his name written very clearly, and basically we find that this guy is an occultist practicing voodoo acts or whatever. You can check on the internet for yourself, Nicola, and he's also a doctor. How can a doctor in a mental hospital be... but what he did was very evil. The moment I didn't agree with him, he lift the phone, go and lock him up.
Okay, so
but when I showed this documentation at the end to the proper sources, the director of the hospital there was a guy who was not the one the year before, who I knew was working with the CIA, but was another guy, and this time he didn't know really what was happening. I could see that he was only put from on top in that situation. I could show my documentation and get out of that situation. So I got out, and I said, how can I save my life? Because, okay, for the moment they are not arresting me anymore.
Right.
I'm going to come out with a website. I'm going to scan a few things, documents, open a blog. That's happened with Illuminati Confessions at squarespace.com. Squarespace.com was a blog, okay, kind of situation. And after a month I started to have a lot of problems because they received piles of complaints and of threats to shut down the website. So on the 6th of December 2006, I was shut down. All my information was risking to be lost because I had to work on it. I'm not a genius of the computer. I just scrambled together all these things. But the interest was already born. And thanks God, people had downloaded, some people, I don't know, on the internet had downloaded my material. They managed to retrieve it, to transfer it on the website in Italy of a Freemason, Daniele Dal Bosco, a Freemason though that was himself conscious of what they were doing, and he himself said, I want to support you because I think that, he saw the injustices I was subject to also within Freemasons. So he said, okay, Leo, we open Illuminati Confession at web, which is illuminaticonfessions.webfriend.it, which is still in existence, and we go on with your revelations. Not even 24 hours after they shut down my Squarespace account, the police came through the door of my house with 2 policemen and 2 social workers to take my kids. I was living in the center of Oslo at the time. My wife was in the house. They probably thought I was alone, so they broke in. But when they saw that my wife was there, they said, okay, bring it to the other room, we want to bring it to the other room. I said, what do you want to do to me? Only because I have a website you want to arrest me? Am I not free to do what I want? I said, my dear friends, in the last 24 hours I transferred my website to Italy. I said, if you now arrest me, kill me, do whatever I want, the website is going to stay alive. It's now on the net. There is no way you can shut it down. But the police said, if you continue with this website, we can, have your kids taken from you and you have to come down with this stuff. How dares the police of Norway, and I said once again to the camera and to the people of Norway, shame on you, come to my door, come to my house, threaten me to take my kids because they can't take the truth upon Per Christian Krok, ex-secretary of the Ministry of Defense, who I saw in open lodge worshipping the Book of the Dead and the Steel of Revealing of Aleister Crowley, dressed in a black cloak. I saw Trond Kare Westby, the head of the Defense Command in Norway, in their lodges and also in Masonic lodges where I met him. And this guy is the head of the Defense Command in Norway of the medical staff. I will show you after his cut.
So you got away because you went public. Is this correct?
I went public, and even at the beginning they threatened me. At that point, after I said to them, listen, even if you threaten me now, I said openly to the policemen, and also my wife went to the social workers, because we had to go to the social workers after, otherwise they would take her kids, said very clearly, my husband is not going to stop with what he's doing. He will carry on. If this is a free country, he has to do this and he has to be able to do this. Mm-hmm. At that point, they couldn't arrest me anymore like before, or put me and torture me for hours and do whatever. Because at that point, I would go immediately on the net. As soon as I was out, put everything, and finally I had an audience.
Right.
Obviously, the problem was, who was my audience? The problem was that my audience obviously maybe was not judged as serious by many people, because the alternative media sometimes is not judged as serious. Mm-hmm. But for me, at least, it was a mean to spread my information and to be able to protect myself. And they took this very seriously. In fact, what happened 2 weeks later, I was invited to Livorno, on 21st of December, to a P2 lodge in Livorno. I have pictures of that meeting also, by their grandmaster there, asking me, all in a nice kind way, offer me nice dinner, to please stop with those revelations.
Oh, really?
But the guy who asked me, Grandmaster Mauro Lazzari and Luigi Piazza, because I refused, they were punished themselves. And in June, just now, 2007, the police raided their headquarters of the Masonic orders there is this documentation in Livorno, and it was the biggest scandal since the P2, because it's connected also to the Christian Democratic Party, because their lodge, where I was meeting, was the headquarters of the Christian Democratic Party, UDC, of Cesar, which is the party close to the Vatican. So obviously you don't need to be a genius to link 1 + 1 is 2, you have a Masonic lodge in the headquarters of the Christian Democratic Party. These people in the Christian Democratic Party has been working with the NSA, the CIA for 50 years in the Gladio secret operation. These people, Balestieri, Ezio Giunchiglia, these people all belong to Gladio. Gladio is a secret operation against communism that has been very important, because 9/11 has been the same kind of operation that the Italians have seen over and over again in the strategic years of tension, we call them, in the 70s, when we had the killings of the station of Bologna, of Piazza Fontana. All these killings were organized by so-called deviant secret services apparatus. Nobody understood ever. It was maybe the Red Brigades, there was